give that right after we speak to our special guest. We have an esteemed guest with us here in the studio this evening, Mr. Andy Tsaku. Yes. Good evening, sir.
Great pleasure to be with you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Also, I would like to, just ask a few questions. Like Mr. Charles told me that today marks the 30th anniversary of the CIS.
Yes.
Considering the COVID-19 pandemic and how most businesses were forced to move virtually, so what would you say were the challenges that trading virtually? What would you say you faced? Let me make it quite personal. And now, what would you say were the challenges you faced, and what do you think has changed since things have begun to pick up and go back to normal?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. For me, it was not quite a major shift because if you play back long before COVID, the exchange already was trading remotely. So there were brokers that were not actually coming to the floor. But I am particularly a flow-based trader. And therefore, what I actually lost by the presence of COVID, since you asked me personally, is the camaraderie that we got lost with. Contact of people, information dissemination that usually you can only get but on the floor. One of the factors that do affect stock prices is what we call market hearsay. And market hearsay largely comes through interaction. Okay, so, but that was largely decimated, otherwise, as to trading, the channels were already in place. But in terms of seeing face to face, that contact was totally eroded. And that didn't quite go down well with me.
Also, I would like us to briefly talk about CIS at 30.
Okay.
Yes. What do you think the CIS needs to improve on? Or do you feel like they are at a better place currently in terms of not just celebration or the number of years they've spent?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the starting points for me will be to actually share in that celebration. 30 years is no mean feat.
Yeah.
It's actually a generation. And if you take a generation out of human life, that's substance. And to have come through this experience for 30 years, it's truly kudos to the entire market. In the period of 30 years, we can truly celebrate because we have seen a manifestation of excellence in terms of preparation of people to be truly professional and professional to the core. Not just professionally trained within the ambit of Nigeria, but making them truly internationally relevant. There's no broker in the Nigerian market today that can't function in any other market. But for jurisdictional issues, you just need to navigate through that. And then your head's on. So one of the things that I think the Institute has been keen in doing is continually refining processes. That, I think, should continue. Expanding the scope in terms of making the Institute also more visible is another area of challenge, because if you take the total population of stockbrokers today, I mean from over the 30 years, we're still a small number. I'm looking forward to another generation where this number will not just be doubled but quadrupled. And that can only come through creating significant awareness so that people will get to know that, look, this is a noble profession, and there's so much mileage yet to be covered. I think in that regard, one of the steps CIS has taken that is commendable but needs expansion is the participation of majority of the universities in Nigeria in including certification around securities trading as part of their normal curriculum. Some universities have keyed into that, but it's still not
quite popular.
Internationalized. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Gina, you're surprised that our guest is dressed the way I'm also dressed? Well, again, it's a special day for members of CIS, and the celebration continues. As you have said, it's not just celebrating, but it's worth celebrating because, like my doyen has spoken, normally on the trading floor, when the doyen has spoken, no other broker will have to speak. But I'm seeking the permission from the doyen with us today in the studio. Doyen, sir, can I just make one or two remarks? Okay, so you can see it's a disciplined profession where our word is our bond. So let me just give you the honor, Gina, to continue.
Well, that's it. That's it. All right, that wraps up stock market reports. Like Mr. Charles earlier said, you can check our website on www.broadstreettrader.com for a comprehensive stocks price list of the NGX group and NESD. Also, remember to catch up with us via our various social media handles on Facebook at Broad Street Trader NG, Twitter at Broad Street RAD, Instagram at Broad Street RAD. See you tomorrow on another exciting edition of the Afternoon Business Show. Till then, stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.